Good afternoon, good morning. This is Mark Johnson from Loyalty360. Hope everyone's happy, safe, and well. Want to welcome you back to another edition of Loyalty Live. In this series, we talk to the leaders in customer channel and brand loyalty about the best practices, trends that impact and brands' ability to drive unique engagement, personalized experiences, but most importantly, customer loyalty. Today, we have the pleasure of speaking with Michelle Wildenauer, who's a Senior Vice President of Strategic Services for the Lacek Group. Michelle, how are you today?
I'm doing well, Mark. Thank you so much for inviting me today. I'm excited to be here.
I'm excited to have you. Looking forward to learning more about you and the Lacek Group. First off, since it's almost Stanley Cup time, are you a Minnesota Wild fan?
Of course I am. Okay. Everyone in Minnesota is big hockey city.
But it's kind of fit in your name, so I thought I'd ask that. So, all right, great. Well, first off, we always like to start off and learn a little bit more about the people we're speaking with, obviously the company and your background. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself, your role with your company, and kind of what you do?
Sure. Well, I've worked in customer and loyalty marketing really most of my career, first at Northwest Airlines, which is now Delta, for 5 years at Thomson Reuters, and for over 20 years at the Lacek Group. And I'm responsible for strategic services for our clients. And internally, I'm focused on our thought leadership, our PR, and business development.
Okay. For those who don't know the Lacek Group, can you tell us a little bit about what they do, what you guys do at your company, and how you do, and maybe industries that you play in more so than others?
Yeah, absolutely. So the Lacek Group helps companies drive growth and customer value through loyalty programs and strategies, creative engagement, and experience marketing solutions. We've been in business for over 25 years and have worked with many of our clients for 10 plus years. We are known for our best-in-class data intelligence team that delivers business insights and personalization at scale, and an award-winning creative team that focuses on infusing emotional connection into touch points. We target strong and traditional loyalty categories like travel and hospitality, growing categories like retail. We have a lot of retail business right now, and new categories like CPG and healthcare, and companies that are really focused on direct to consumer. And Lacek is an Ogilvy experience company, and together with Ogilvy, our teams deliver comprehensive strategies and full funnel experiences that deliver speed to value for clients at scale.
Okay. Excellent. And another thing we always like to ask too, a fun fact. Is there a fun fact about yourself, something you like to do? We've had people that have been dropped off on the doorstep of monasteries in the Philippines on the day 2 of their life, people that like gaming, people that do extreme skiing and or boating. What's a fun fact about you?
Well, one of the facts that I would share, it's not quite as fun as those, but early in my career, I received a Women in Business Award from the Minneapolis-St. Paul Business Journal, and it meant a lot to me at the time, and it gave me confidence. So how I've been able to repurpose that is I've spent a lot of my time mentoring men and women who are early in their careers, and recently completed a mentorship role with LOT, which is an organization that stands for Leaders of Today and Tomorrow. And I really enjoyed it. And I find that I get so much out of the mentoring. The enthusiasm of the mentee is really catchy, and it energizes me.
Excellent. That's great. Great to hear. It's always great to give back, especially with someone with your depth of experience, not only in customer loyalty, but in marketing and being a role model for women. I think it's something to be revered for sure. So that's great to hear. So next question we have, customer loyalty, very important to brands today and marketers. And we always like to talk to those we interview about how they define customer loyalty. We feel it's important to have a qualitative understanding of the word, the definition, because it really helps understand it. Not that it's a very difficult word to understand, but we love to get that from people. So what does customer loyalty mean to you and to Lacek?
That's a great question, because I think loyalty does mean different things to different people, and it has evolved over time. So how we think of loyalty, we really look to create emotional loyalty, and we define that as connection between the customer and the brand that goes beyond that rational decisioning. And it can be created many different ways, through brand purpose, through a sense of community, through delivering personalized experiences, lots of other ways. But it results in the individual choosing the company because of how they feel versus strictly what they get. And we think that that is kind of a changed perspective, because oftentimes people believe that loyalty programs, as an example, are strictly rewards. And that's not the way that we look at it. We're looking to create that heart strategy versus simply a head strategy.
Okay, excellent. Customer loyalty is changing. It was changing before COVID. Obviously, that kind of sped up and accelerated some of the changes we're seeing. What is the biggest challenge or opportunity you see in customer loyalty today?
Kind of related to the last question, we see that many programs and many brands still have what we call transactional, kind of back of mind loyalty. So people are in programs and they think of them occasionally. And the brands typically are looking at historical transactions and those incentives to keep people coming back. But we think that's very repeatable. It's very ripe for disruption. So what we're looking at, we see the opportunity in creating loyalty that is more like devotion, and using some of the technologies that other companies use, the data, the tech, and the automation, but finding those human ways, those creative ways to deliver it. And that is what makes someone feel special from the first time they interact with you and become loyal, sometimes even before they've bought anything. So that's what we're really focused on. That's where we see the opportunity.
Okay, great. We always like to get a perspective on a brand or two. Could be a brand that you work with or a brand that you just frequent that you think does an exceptional job of creating customer loyalty, and why that is.
Sure. And I have an example of each of those, actually. So one of my favorite brands is Weston, and my favorite program is Marriott Bonvoy, formerly Starwood Preferred Guest, and that is a client. So we're a little biased there. But what I love is that I feel recognized and appreciated when I stay at the hotel from the moment I check in. I love the fact that when I check in, they say, "Welcome back, Ms. Wildenauer." So obviously it's data that's driving it, but I appreciate that recognition. And throughout my stay, I appreciate other benefits like the welcome amenity and the late checkout. The program itself, I think, it's connecting with me emotionally. It fuels my passion for travel. And I also love the amazing hotel and destination photography. It is inspiring to me. I love to look at it because it gives me travel ideas and just makes me feel inspired. The other recent experience, not a client, but Delta Airlines. So I've obviously traveled a lot in my career, but haven't traveled over the last 13 months due to COVID. And when I returned to travel last month, I sat in my seat and the flight attendant came up to me and said, "Welcome back, Ms. Wildenauer. We see this is your first flight in 13 months. We're so glad to see you and appreciate your confidence in us." And I thought that was amazing. It's definitely another example of using data, but using it in a very human way to make a big impact.
That's awesome. You guys specialize in program design, right? We have an analyst approach now. We just did our first industry report, and what we see is a lot of times people pick technology or select technology that may or may not get them to the end goal, right? So they end up going and working with organizations like yourself to help, increase the efficacy and efficiency of their program. When you look at loyalty program design, how has it evolved over the years?
It has evolved, and it needs to, of course, because consumer and client expectations have evolved. So while some of the fundamentals of building a program haven't changed, some of the steps within it have. So what we have done, as an example, we have added in customer mindset research early in the discovery process to really understand those pain points, motivations, unrecognized needs. That helps us identify those customer opportunities. We've also taken a different approach to design of the program. We used to kind of go off on our own after the discovery and develop a couple of concepts and bring them back. Now we've shifted to a collaborative design sprint, which enables us to work really closely with our clients on brainstorming and the initial design for the program. We still go back, of course, and layer our expertise into that. But what that design sprint does is it cuts the time, which is very important to clients, and it really engages them in the process so they feel part of the solution. And then we also do research after the design to validate the concept. And, in the past, you would work with an outside research company. It took several weeks. It took usually a pretty significant budget. Now we do that work ourselves. So we lead one-on-one interviews. We'll just use Zoom or other technology for that, and online surveys using simple survey tools, and typically can do that within a time span of about a week and zero out-of-pocket costs. So really significant improvement, I think, from a client standpoint. And then also to focus on speed to value, we're offering loyalty accelerators and pilot approaches to meet client needs. So sometimes we might start with the loyalty promotion as an example. It's easier to get a promotion in market. There isn't as much cost and commitment, and it's a first step towards understanding what the customers are interested in engaging in and what the potential is for the program. And from there, we can move to a pilot and a full program.
That's awesome. I think that's one of the things that we continue to see too, is the relationship between brand and technology provider or brand and agency is changing. The long term, they still exist, but the long term multi-million dollar deals may not be as frequent. But I think there's an opportunity for organizations like yourself to do more in a more fluid relationship, because they want to bring some pieces in-house, but that's going to require, to your what you were talking about, that flexibility, that pliability to really kind of meet them where they are, right? Like everyone wants to meet the customers where they are. Meeting the brands where they are now too, I think is very important as well.
Absolutely. And the brand really creates magic. It gives you some of the emotional connections that the customers will want, and that will create that loyalty.
Absolutely. What is one piece of advice you would share with brands who are looking to improve their customer loyalty or customer experience strategy?
Actually, a couple of things come to mind. One is kind of the obvious, but really know and listen to your customer. They will tell you, whether it's directly through, interactions with staff or research, or indirectly through social posts and reviews, what makes them feel special, what bothers them, what they expect from brands. And then the other thing that we would add is we really work, especially on program design, we focus on the things that only the brand can deliver. And that's what makes a program unique. That's what makes it not easily repeatable by a competitor. So that could be what the brand stands for. And maybe it's something associated with the brand's foundation and what they're doing in the communities. Might be a product or something like that. We really look for those unique characteristics.
Okay, great. As you mentioned, many clients, you hadn't traveled in 13 months, but also the travel and hospitality industries have been very disrupted, hit hard, particularly by COVID. How have you seen COVID impact some of your clients? You have a very diverse client, and maybe brands in general.
Yeah, and we do have quite a few travel and hospitality clients, so we certainly have seen the impact of COVID. Although we're really happy that we've remained working with all of our travel and hospitality clients during these difficult times. But I would say that what we have done, what we've seen, of course, is the decline in business. And how we've worked with our clients is to keep those members engaged when they're not traveling. And also for travel is to kind of keep the hope of future travel alive. We've especially seen this come to life in the hotel programs as well as in the air. And then shifting to feasible activities, whether it's maybe leisure travel or local travel or credit card activity to drive revenue. So those were some of the initiatives that we focused on. And then with our other clients, fortunately, they've seen some increases in demand for their products and services. And in these cases, we've helped them shift to digital or no-touch experiences, integrate new delivery services into the loyalty program, and make sure we're delivering those personalized communications at the right times to get the business that is there for the taking.
Okay. And what do you think differentiates Lacek, the Lacek Group, from some of the other loyalty strategy agencies out there?
Well, the answer that I'd offer is in our experience, our expertise, and our people. And those maybe sound like kind of typical categories, but from an experience side, because we've been in loyalty for so long, we really do know what works and what doesn't work across industries. And we found that our clients really want to understand that. They have a desire to collaborate with us and with our other clients and learn from their industry peers. From an expertise side, we have been able to work on many of the world's most awarded programs, which is, a treat for us. And our teams deliver both the art and science of loyalty, connecting strategy to implementation. We do know that there are a number of providers that design programs, but we don't believe that there are many that really can connect and make those recommendations actionable and tangible. And that's a unique characteristic for us. And then as our people, we really do walk the talk. So as an agency, we have many loyal employees. About a quarter of our account management team has worked at Lacek for over 10 years and 3/4 over 5 years. That's pretty unique, but that stability creates those long-lasting client relationships, and it enables us to really deeply understand the businesses we support.
Okay. And why are companies reaching out to Lacek now? And when they reach out to you, what makes them stay with Lacek, driving that loyalty? What are you seeing there?
In terms of reaching out to us, I would say the business comes a couple of different ways and for different reasons. One of those is that, as I mentioned, our trusted advisor relationships with our current clients drives referrals. And then also when clients change companies, they come back to us. So they want that similar experience that they have had with us before. Our thought leadership drives new companies that we aren't working with to learn about the power of loyalty and customer engagement. And we're really excited about our partnership with you because you also help us with our thought leadership. And then we're also seeing quite a few new companies and new categories reach out to us either directly or through Ogilvy because they are shifting to first-party data strategies and direct-to-consumer. So those are kind of the primary reasons they come to us. And why do they stay with us? I think, honestly, it is because of our commitment to service and the results we drive for the business. We're so lucky to have many clients that have been with us 10, 15, 20 plus years. Now, when we're pitching with a new logo, we let them know that project work is okay as well. We can take on 2-month or 3-month projects. We certainly don't expect long-lasting relationships, but we love those when there is an opportunity for that. They see us as an extension of their team. That makes us feel good, and it demonstrates how important their business and success are to us.
Okay, great. If you look 6 months, maybe a year into the future, where do you think loyalty programs will be in strategy, customer experience, obviously becoming more important, data privacy? Where do you see customer loyalty programs going forward?
Well, we're at such an interesting point right now because there is so much change happening over the last year, and that is shaping loyalty. So while driving loyalty will always be important, how it is achieved, I think, is continually evolving. Right now, so kind of in the 6 months and year framework, I'd say, we still will see loyalty tied to safety and trust due to the pandemic. But we know as we head into a cookieless world, brands will need to identify and deliver personalized and relevant messaging to customers in new ways. And that's where loyalty will really become that powerful engine. And then we believe also that, the future of loyalty is in creating that total loyalty experience that is infused with emotion, and that is also centered around total customer value management, really understanding where that value is coming from, which customers, which behaviors or engagements, which channels, and using that information to make the right marketing and business decisions to maximize that value.
Okay, great. Is there a new trend, a current technology, or maybe even idea, personalization or fraud management that you believe is very important for the brands today who are, focused on customer loyalty?
Yeah, I would say it's really important to focus on end-to-end loyalty strategy. And, I think many brands still see loyalty as just post-transaction once they are a current customer. And we believe that the insights from loyalty can extend throughout the entire funnel, from the targeting to the acquisition to commerce through that loyal advocate relationship. So that is really kind of the overall framework. Some of the more detailed elements would be, of course, shifting to a digital approach. We've seen a lot of that over the last year and will continue to. As I mentioned, the death of the cookie will really open up some new opportunities for connecting with customers. And then we also see the connection between loyalty and CX, the two capabilities, really leveraging the skills and the technologies and the practices that each has to drive that ultimate customer experience.
Okay, great. And the last question I have for you is, what can we do as a trade association for the industry to help others who are focused on customer loyalty, customer experience in their journeys?
One thing that comes to mind for me is that we truly believe that loyalty and CX they require specialized skills to make sure that sound strategies are developed and successful programs are built. They are long-term investments, and we also believe and see that the returns from loyalty are very significant and drive that sustained revenue for the brand. So tied to that, I would say, as an association, the content that you provide, the dialogue you facilitate is really valuable to helping organizations understand what is needed to deliver on this powerful marketing tool. So the more you can continue those conversations, I think that would be fabulous. So, in that regard, I just wanted to say thank you for all the great work that you're doing. And we look forward to working with you more closely in the future.
Absolutely. Well, thank you very much for the good feedback. Also, for some of the insights you shared. It is definitely a very unique time to be in this industry. Marketers are putting customer loyalty more and more at the fore, and having great organizations like yourself that we can hear from what you're seeing, what you're doing, how you're helping, really helps brands assuage some of the challenges they have. So it was great, Michelle, to spend some time with you, understand what you and Lacek are doing, and look forward to hearing more from you throughout 2021.
That sounds great. Thank you, Mark. Thanks for the opportunity.
All right, perfect. Thanks for everyone for listening, and look forward to having you back soon. Thanks.
Bye.